Arcadiology, episode 21, featuring Black Tiger. Join us as we uncover artifacts from the arcades. My name is Brad. My co-hosts are Sky.
Yo.
Kyle.
Saw dudes.
And Jordan.
What up, friends?
Ready to get talking about some video games. I don't know about you guys, but I'm pretty excited about this week's.
Yeah. Are you?
I wouldn't say excited.
Yeah,
No.
I wouldn't. I don't think I'd use that kind of word.
All right, well, we'll save that for the main chat before we get into these mixed feelings here. What other games you guys been playing this week?
Dude, I just started playing the first Descendant, which I think it just came out like yesterday, I think it was. It feels like a mix between, I don't know which of these games you guys have played, but it's like a mix between like Destiny, Warframe, maybe like an Anthem-ish feel to it. I actually don't know if...
Okay.
Have you guys played any of those?
Nope.
I haven't played any of them, but I know I'm familiar with most of them.
Yeah, it's kind of like a mix between all of those types.
It's like a looter shooter type deal.
Yeah. It's a free to play on Steam looter shooter. A bunch of different, like, I don't know, there's like 13, 14 different descendants, they call them, to like pick from, different characters. And you just go through multiplayer, open world-ish kind of, and then you just shoot some bad guys, loot some bad guys. You know how it goes.
Nice.
How's like the gunplay? Pretty solid compared to like something like Halo?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not multiplayer like Versus.
Okay.
So, you know what I mean? It's like a Destiny kind of thing where it's like you got like a fire team. You go out and just kill the bad guys, dude. Get the loot.
It's pretty much just all co-op stuff.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of You can do it single player if you want. You can have, so you're in kind of the world by yourself, or you can have like, there can be other people running around doing things while you're doing things, and you can just like join up with them. Just like if they're like doing a mission that you're going to do anyway, you can just click like join and you'll just jump in with them real quick, do the mission, then go on your separate ways if you want to. It's fun. It's been cool. I've been playing it for the past... I played it yesterday and a little bit today. I think actually the Microsoft servers are currently down though, or at least they were as of like an hour ago. So I'm actually waiting for those to come back up. Probably after we're done with the recording here, I'll try to hop back on it.
I think they were down yesterday, weren't they?
I think at some point they went down, yeah. But that's what I've been playing.
We'll have to check that one out myself here eventually. Well, Sky, what about you? You playing anything new?
Not really, no. I go on and browse Steam trying to find some cool stuff that I haven't played before, but I find a lot of the time that I'm on like the Steam marketplace or whatever, the Steam store, I just look at a bunch of stuff. I never really like play anything. There's just so many games on there to check out. It's like, this might be cool. Then I'm like, I either don't download it or I like wish list it. Or I do download it and I don't play it forever. So I don't know. I just get on there and browse stuff. I haven't really played anything else this week.
Yeah, I've been getting into the habit of building a pretty extensive wish list myself. Before it was just like a couple games, like, oh, this one's coming out soon, I'll put that on. But now it's just like, oh, this looks cool, that looks cool. Just start building a huge list.
If you don't feel like playing games, but you still want to check stuff out for later, it's like, all right, maybe I'll try this one out whenever I feel like it or have free time or something, or if I get bored of like a different game. Some of the games on my list actually, a lot of games right now on Steam are like all 70 to 80% off until like July 11th. So for like another week, there's like crazy deals right now on all the games in the store.
Yeah, they got their summer sale going on.
Yeah, like I saw that and I was like, all right, I got a couple games off my wish list. I actually just bought them because I think I got probably bought like 6 games and it came out to like $10 total. So
yeah, that's the thing with Steam. It's awesome just to build a fat library of all these games for super cheap.
So I mean, I got like 6 new games. Most of them aren't new. I played some before, like on Xbox. Some of them are like Xbox indie games from way back in the day.
Okay.
So I saw those on there. I was like, dude, I gotta grab these. I used to play them all the time. Yeah, I bought all those, and they're just kind of sitting there waiting for me to jump in on them.
Well, did one of those games happen to be Hollow Knight by chance? You know about that?
I saw it on there. I did not get it yet. I'm not sure I'm ready for another. I mean, I love Metroidvania style stuff. I don't know. I played a ton of them, and Dead Cells is kind of like the bar for me right now. Like, I kind of compare everything to Dead Cells at the moment.
Yeah, dude, that's the game I've been playing for the last like 2 weeks or so. Was Hollow Knight. I heard so much about it. Everyone says it's like one of the best of the genre, and after playing it put about like 23 hours into it, I completely agree, dude. It's so good.
Yeah, I've seen it on there, and I think that's also on sale right now, isn't it?
I believe so. Yeah.
I was thinking of picking it up. I was like, I don't know when I'm gonna play this or not. Maybe after this podcast here, I'll jump off and just grab it if it's on sale. Just save it for later.
Yeah, like I said, I put a bunch of time into. I was on vacation last week, so I had a bunch of time to play, and I completed the whole games. I didn't like 100% of it or anything, but like once you finish it, I guess there's like multiple endings, but it tells you like your percentage, and mine was at 72% whenever I finished it. So I guess there's still a decent chunk of stuff left for me to do.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll go back 100%. That's not really my thing. I don't like to like try to perfect it. Then I just get like stressed out and don't want to do it anymore if I'm trying to do every little thing.
Yeah.
And then it bothers you that you're missing stuff.
Yeah.
That's how I got with what's the other game? There's Dead Cells is kind of like a roguelite, kind of not really Metroidvania, kind of I guess, I don't know, because you get skills to unlock random stuff. But that, and then that one game you told me about a while ago, The Messenger.
Right.
When I got that, dude, I played the crap out of that game. I loved it. So now I'm just like, I mean, I'm not sure I'm ready for another that style game right now.
Like a side-scrolling platformer type thing.
Yeah, because I know it's awesome, but I also know I'm gonna sink a lot of time into it, or I'm gonna need to sink a lot of time into it.
Yeah, for anyone that doesn't know what Hollow Knight is, like as we said, it was a Metroidvania, side-scrolling, 2D. There's like a darker theme to it, and I don't know, it's really fun. It's like almost like kind of creepy at times, like the way like you like fight all these insects and stuff, and they're just like weird enemies you fight. Something about it reminds me of almost like the Nightmare Before Christmas. You guys remember that movie?
Okay.
Oh, of course.
Reminds me of something that would like be in there. I don't know. That's kind of the vibe I get from it, but it's so much fun. I love it.
Yeah, I know it's an awesome game. Like, I've only ever heard awesome things about it, so maybe I will just pick that up anyway.
Yeah, I've been putting it off for so long, and I finally just got around to it, and yeah, it's great. Definitely recommend it. Well, Jordan, you playing anything else?
Nothing new, man. It's pretty much same old, same old. You know, I pick up some Pokemon on my phone here and there, especially like during little car trips and whatnot. But I finally played Rebirth again for the first time. Not the first time, but I haven't gotten to play it very much at all for the last like month. And I finally had a day where I was able to sink a few hours into it just the other night. And I cleared all the bonus stuff. So obviously you guys haven't played Rebirth, but I'm sure someone listening out there will know what I'm talking about. But I finally cleared all of the Chadley bullshit in the Gungaga region, which that area in that game is freaking brutal, man, because it's the Gungaga region is essentially a jungle, and there's also a lot of cliffs. So the world map doesn't really help you a whole lot because there's so many different levels. So you kind of can never tell where you're at. It's a maze. And I admittedly had to use a guide to figure out how to solve those last few little missions I had to do in there, which I think it's the first time I used a guide for that game. But dude, that area was killing me.
That's always a bad feeling when you have to resort to the guide. It's like,
yeah,
I wish I could have did that myself.
Yeah, I didn't want to have to do it, but man, like I said, so it's, like I said before, it's kind of like a semi-open world game. It's just splitting it to different regions. Every other region, I was able to do all the little sub-objective whatever things pretty easily. But yeah, this one, it's woof, you never can tell where anything is. It's such a maze. It's insane. But I finally cleared that. I've been stuck in that region for a good month or so. I think 61 hours into the game and still maybe half-ish way through or so, I think. Maybe a little more than half. But I'm just glad I got to play it again. But that's pretty much all I've been doing, more or less, as far as gaming stuff goes.
Yeah, it's a big one. One of these years, you'll finish it here on the podcast and tell us.
20 episodes from now.
I might finish it just in time for part 3 to come out in like 3 years. Who knows?
Yeah.
Nice.
Really.
Whatever happened to Pal World? Is all the hype gone or what?
Probably.
I mean, the initial hype's gone, I guess. And there still is a player base from, some of the people that stick around. It's just not really like, it's not in the news anymore, It's just kind of run its course for the big batch of people. Now just whoever's left over that really like it. I know they're still doing updates and stuff, but I have not checked back on that one in a while. Well, you guys got anything else before we move into our featured game today?
I don't think so, man. I really need to dive into some new games here so I can give you a better answer next time.
If we're all good to go, let's talk about some Black Tiger. This was released in the arcades in 1987. It's a 2D side-scrolling platformer with hack-and-slash combat. takes place in, I guess, like a medieval setting. There's like magic, dragons, stuff like that. You navigate fairly large stages, usually have multiple paths you can take, come across optional dungeons. There's a bunch of hidden secrets throughout the stages, and you have to rescue these, they call them wise men. They're kind of turned into stone, and you free them. They give you different rewards. And as most of these games are, there's a boss at the end of each stage. So, Jordan, with you being, real big on platformers, do you have any fun with this game?
This was the biggest piece of dog shit that I've ever played.
I knew it was
entire
coming.
life. No, dude, I would never, ever, ever touch this game again. I had the worst time. This is awful. Even like just for platformer standards, it plays so terribly. It's definitely a product of its time. It's a product of the 80s for sure.
I understand his feelings. This is a hard game.
I don't even know if it's entirely just that it's hard, which it is. It is hard in chunks, but it just plays horribly. It just feels terrible at all times, pretty much.
Yeah, I was thinking about you when I was playing, and I was like, oh man, he's not going to have fun with this game. As soon as I booted up, moved around.
I think even if I liked platformers, honestly, I think if I liked platformers, I might hate it more just because of how terribly it plays.
It kind of gave me some, like, slight early Castlevania vibes a little bit. It has kind of like the original Castlevania games on, like, Nintendo and stuff. It had that same kind of mechanic where if you jump in a direction, that's the direction you're jumping in. Like, there's no changing in midair. So whatever jumps you make, you fully commit to that jump.
Yeah, and that's rough.
Yeah, that's what made those games, Castlevania games, really brutal, like the first couple ones.
But it also had, like you say, if you commit to a direction, then, like, you're stuck with it. But it was also, if you don't pick a direction, you're stuck just going straight up, and you can't change it midair.
Yeah, I think the most control you have that I found with the jumps, I don't know if you guys probably did this when you were playing. Whatever, you can jump straight up like Kyle said. If you don't hit a direction and you press jump, you can only go straight up. And then whatever direction you jump in, left or right, that's the direction you continue in once you leave the ground. The only control that I found was if you jump and you delay your direction by like a second, like maybe a half a second, I don't know what the timing is. You probably have about a half second after you jump to actually delay it and then move left or right. So I actually found myself kind of using that a little bit.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was mandatory for a certain part of the game.
I know exactly what we're talking about, and I almost lost my mind.
And even that out. It's not the best control. I would have preferred just, normal jump controls. That's about as far as they let you get it.
Yeah, man, especially when you get to a part where you have very narrow platforms that you get to jump across, which that doesn't happen often, but it does happen a bit. Your jump has to be perfect because, I mean, that's kind of the one saving grace with most platformers is that you can change direction in midair. So if you jump and you look like you might go a little too far or fall just a little too short of the next platform, you can adjust in the air. It's not the case here, man. If you messed up that jump, that's it. You're dead. Too bad.
And to make matters worse is a lot of the times, like, you couldn't really see what you were jumping to.
Yep, there was one specific part.
Yeah, it's just like you don't know if you need to do like kind of a little short jump or like a long jump or like, back up a little bit before you do the jump. Sometimes you're just blindly jumping into like the direction that you think you have to go.
Yeah.
And there's just like a pit of spikes there. Like, all right, dude.
I don't remember what level it was, but there was a point where like you climb up onto a ledge and it has arrows pointing, and I assume there's arrows pointing over. I never saw any platforms on my way up. So I figured, okay, I'm just going to like walk off the edge and land on the ground. And it was a jump. You had to jump from that big ledge over to a platform that wasn't on your screen. So I walked off and fell on spikes and died.
Yeah, and there's just no way to know.
And there's a lot of booby traps in this game too. So you got to be careful. You have to be careful of every move that you make because you're probably going to get hit by something.
Yeah, I feel like at least half of the chests were just booby traps. Like you find keys as you're going and you're like, you open up a treasure chest and then something attacks you, like these flame pillars come out and hit you, and I don't know, you can't trust the treasure chest.
Dude, this whole game felt like you couldn't trust it.
Uh-huh.
You couldn't trust any.
Can't trust your jump.
Dude, any movement.
This is a very deceiving game.
It just couldn't be. It was like you couldn't trust it so much that you could actually trust it to, like, like screw you over every move.
Yeah, you had to pretty much assume worst case scenario every decision you made.
this game kind of forces you into like a stutter stepping play style the whole time.
Yeah, which is
like you walk
annoying.
up a little bit and then you hurry up and back up. Walk up a little, hurry up and back up, like little jukes left and right as you're slowly advancing forward.
It's funny because like there was definitely a moment in this game where, and you guys will probably relate to this, where it's like you start the game off right, and like that stuff starts happening to you to the point where you're like, okay, now I'm gonna stutter step. I'm expecting everything, and so you start playing like that, and then like you might like avoid like one or two things that like would have otherwise like tripped you up. And then you're like, oh yeah, I got this, I'm the man. And then like still something happens. Like no matter what, something still gets you and you're like, God dang it, dude. I still suck. How do I still suck? Like they give you that little bit, like just when you think you're like, all right, I'm the man, dude. Then all of a sudden they just smack you with something else.
And then there's also a lot of climbing of sorts that you have to do as well, like a tremendous amount. It's not like this is just here and there. There's a lot of like, I don't know if you want to call them ladders or like little rocks or whatever. You have to jump up and down and between, and there'll be maybe like 50 rocks in the screen. You have to jump back and forth between them, and that can be a pain in the butt then too, because you have to. I mean, it's pretty good with grabbing it if you're close enough, but every now and then, if you miss a rock when you're jumping, and then sometimes you can fall way back to near the beginning of the stage all over again if you miss that jump. It's just not forgiving.
Yep. I think I did that like twice in the one level. I got all the way to the top, climbed all them little like rock pillars the whole way up, and I missed a jump to another ledge, and I had to climb them all over again like twice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what really sucks is there's like checkpoints, so when you die, you revert back to like your latest checkpoint. It doesn't show you where they are, it's just kind of like they just happen. But if you fall down, like I did that once, I was like at the top of the stage, I fell the whole way to the bottom. I was like, oh, screw this, I'm just jumping off the edge so I can go back to my checkpoint. Little did I know, it resets your checkpoint to where you were, so now I'm the whole way back at the beginning of the stage, and it's wasted a life. That was so annoying.
I feel like we all did that at the exact same spot.
Yeah, I'm sure we did.
Is it the stage? It's like one of the last, or I think it's the last stage, right? And it's like, so it's the same spot where you're trying to make that jump, and you have to make like a pixel perfect jump. It's like the only spot in the game that's like that.
Oh wait, are we thinking of stage 7? Because I was gonna bring. I know there's a legend stage 7 where you have to make an absolute pixel perfect
it's jump. It's got to be
unless
the same. Yeah,
there's
it's got to be the one.
Unless there's one stage 8 too.
6 or 7, they were both had some pretty rough platforming, I thought.
Yeah. I mean, the jump I'm thinking of in stage 7, my character's sprite was very literally not on the ledge anymore. That's how far to the edge of the ledge you had to get. It's to the point that there was probably literally one single pixel holding him on that ledge, and then you have to make the jump. And then you take like 5 steps forward, and then there's another gap that's like the exact same distance. And if you miss that one, it takes you back to before the first one all over again. I must have tried that 100 times, only successfully made the first jump twice ever of those like 100 tries. Like the platforming aspect of this game is an absolute nightmare.
Yeah, I think it is stage 7. I'm watching the video of it now. I think that is the one where I climbed up to the top, and then I missed that jump, and I fell the whole way back down.
Yeah,
I missed it 100 times. Even when I cleared the enemies out.
Yeah, I was gonna say the only good thing is that most of the enemies that you've cleared out stay dead. So even if you like fall all the way back down, you just kind of have to run back through it all, which is annoying. But like most of the enemies, they don't respawn. Except for like the skeletons that just infinitely respawn for some reason.
Yeah.
Oh, the skeletons are awful. There's so many.
Yeah, though, as we said, the movement's pretty rough. I mean, once you get used to it, I mean, it still sucks, but you can kind of predict like what's going to happen. You can kind of control it a little bit, just knowing that you have the option to like long jump just by while you're walking jump, or if you jump and then slightly tap left or right, you can kind of do like a higher jump, which is required to beat some of the sections, I believe. But once you get past that, I think it's not too bad if you get used to it. And then there's also the combat element, which that is actually super simple. You just have a flail, like a giant spiky ball on a chain, and it's surprisingly, I thought you had some pretty crazy range with that thing. Not only is it the melee attack shoots out, you get like 3 daggers that also shoot at range while you're attacking. Almost feels like they like map 2 different buttons to the same thing or something.
Yeah.
I feel like it should have been 2 separate attacks. I mean, I'm not complaining, it made it easy, but it was a little weird.
Seems kind of weird, yeah. They just give you 2 weapons that go off at once. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
I mean, it makes sense when you lose the daggers, and then all you have is that flail, and then it's like you can't do anything. Just because like the way that the enemies move and like the controls are so bad, where it's like I'm never gonna kill anybody with just this thing.
Is it when you get hit once or something, then you lose your daggers, or you get hit a couple times and lose them?
It's like a status effect one of the enemies do to you.
You get poisoned. That's what what the antidotes are for.
Yeah, as soon as I lost them daggers, I was like, oh man, this is rough. There's certain enemies that, like, those daggers angle up at like a 45-degree angle. And it's some of the spots are so hard to be directly, like, horizontal from the enemies.
Yeah, good luck trying to kill one of those flying imps that throws the spears at you.
Yes.
If you don't have the daggers, dude.
Dude, and this flail, it can only attack straight forward. You can't angle it. You can't aim it up, down, nothing. It's just you can stand up straight and launch it forward, or you can duck and launch it forward. You have no angles or anything to work with.
Yeah, if I ever lost, like, if I got poisoned, I usually just, like there's no, you're not getting far if you don't have those daggers, too, because you're relying on those. I would just jump into the spike pit sometime just so I could respawn with a fresh life.
Yeah, the way you play that, when you lose the daggers, you just try to run as far as you can. Like, don't even fight. Yeah. You just avoid enemies, keep running, try to hit a checkpoint before you die.
You pull the out zone strat, you just rush as fast as you can, hit the next checkpoint. So on the stages, there's tons of, like, pots and stuff you can break, and they mostly seem to have, the money in this game is called Zenny, which I thought that was a Dragon Ball Z thing, which apparently it's not. I didn't know other things use Zenny for their currency. Did you guys know that?
Zenny? That sounds like Isn't Zenny a Final Fantasy?
No, that's Gil.
I know it's DBZ, but I didn't know it was anything else.
I know Breath of Fire had Zenny.
I think it's in a lot of Capcom games.
Yeah, the only other one I knew was the Breath of Fire used Zenny also.
I guess it's more common than I knew.
I think it's a real life currency.
I thought it was Japanese, but isn't that like yen?
Well, I think it's another kind of currency in Japan or something though too.
Oh, okay.
I could be wrong.
I think it might be like a fictional currency, but I don't know.
Let me see, because I thought I read something about that. I could maybe find that again real quick.
No, it's fake.
Yeah?
It's a fictional in-game currency created by Capcom.
See, the thing I'm looking up here says the word itself is derived from Zeni, just spelled Zeni, an old Japanese term for money. So maybe it's not like the currency, but it's like just like a term for money that they use in Japan.
I was looking up Zenny was like the one they made up.
Yeah, they spell it different.
Oh, okay. So I guess it was based on a real currency at some point.
Kind of. It sounds like it's not an actual currency. It's more just like a general term, maybe. That's kind of what it sounds like. Maybe.
Like calling $1 a buck or something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Anyways, you get your Zenny, which you can use to buy stuff in a shop. Sometimes you can find keys in the like the little vases or the pots, whatever you want to call them, or there's also enemies in there. Like we said, pretty much everything seems like it's booby trapped. So yeah, and you get the chests. Those also pretty much have all the same stuff in them. And it was just rough. You just couldn't trust any of the things you open. You just had to pretty much hit it and run away. And then there was other things, like you would try to escape from it, and then the side of the wall just looks like a regular like stone wall, and then like, you would just hit from a flame out of the side of the wall too. I was like, what is going on here?
Yeah, that's what I mean. But it was like right when you think you have the game figured out, you're like, all right, I'm gonna stutter step because I know an enemy's gonna come out of nowhere, and he does. So you kill him, and you're like, I'm gonna keep stutter stepping because I know another enemy's coming, and he does, and you kill him. And then you get to the chest, and you're like, I know this chest is gonna have fire in it that hurts me, so I'm just gonna tap it and run past it. And then the chest opens up and has fire in it, and you're like, yeah. And then out of the wall, something happens. Just like, dude, what is going on?
And there's like no indication. Like you don't see like a fire turret or a pillar in the wall. It's just straight up the wall block.
Yeah.
And then just fire appears on it. Like, what is that?
Yeah, it's just instant. Just gets you.
That was so cheap.
I don't think it would be as bad if they didn't have like the infinite spawning skeletons Kyle was talking about, because you can't just like, you can just chill, but then you're going to have to keep on maintaining these skeletons that keep coming out of the ground. So you're trying to like watch out for them and like hit this chest and get away from it so it doesn't kill you. Then there's a skeleton waiting behind you that just popped out of the ground or came out of the wall. It was rough just to navigate and try to stay safe.
Yeah.
And they respawn fast too.
Yeah,
they're pretty constant. And it's also, I mean, it's worth noting that you have a time limit. So it's like, you know what I mean? You're trying to like stutter step and be careful because you know everything's booby trapped, but also you have to be fast because there's a time limit to it.
Did any of you guys struggle with the time limit? I feel like I usually died before I ever had to worry about timing out, so I don't think I've ever ran out of time.
I ran out of time trying to make that pixel perfect jump.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
no.
what I was gonna say on stage 7, making that jump multiple times.
I think I timed out. I don't know what level it was. Did one of the levels like loop? Like I thought I kept moving. I thought I was constantly
Yes.
getting somewhere, but I was actually just looping the level left and right.
Yes, it did.
I had no idea where I was going. I was like, dude, where does this level end?
I'm not sure which one you mean.
I don't remember which one it was. One of them like loops horizontally, and I thought I was making progress, and I was literally going to the same spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really weird. I didn't notice that at first either. I was looking on the one side. I was like, how am I supposed to get over there? I was like, there's no platforms. There's nothing I can do. So I just
Yeah.
start going the other direction, and then I pop out. I'm like, wait, this is that section I was looking
Yeah.
at from the opposite side. I was like, this is so weird.
Is that the only level that does that?
I think so.
I could be wrong. I mean, I'm probably wrong, but I felt like the one stage, I don't know which one it was. It might have been 5. I swear it looped like downwards and like you came out the top in this other. I could be wrong on that, but it felt like it unless the map was just like exactly the same on both sections. But it was really weird.
Yeah.
It tripped me up too.
Yeah, I timed out on whatever level that was. I timed out because I didn't know where I was going.
Just running infinite laps.
It took me too long to figure out that it was just looping.
Yeah, I think I probably made like two or 3 loops on that horizontal one before I was like, wait a minute, something's wrong.
How did I
here.
not notice that?
You might have just you had to just like jump up or something, do something dumb. Like you might have just got lucky and went the right way.
Maybe.
I was trying to do like the optional paths, going like against the instead of taking the red arrows, I was taking those gray optional paths, and it kept. I was like, dude, there's so many optional paths in this level, but it was just loop. I was like, dude, I'm gonna collect everything, and then all of a sudden time out. And I'm like, oh, all right, where's the end of the level then?
Yeah, and also you run into, like I was saying in the beginning, they call them the wise men, like these stone guys, and you jump into them. Sometimes they'll give you different rewards, like they'll give you, usually give you like gold, or they'll give you extra time, or they'll actually be, that's how you get into the shop, so they'll sell you stuff. But I don't know, I feel like so many of them tried to just go into the shop, and I'm just trying to get I just left the shop because I didn't have enough Zenny to buy anything. And I run into another one. He's trying to sell me stuff too. I'm like, dude, just give me something useful. I mean, I know the shop's nice, but it's like I just left the shop and I got no money to spend. What am I even supposed to do?
My favorite was when they give you a tip.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's worse than that. Some of them they'll just say thank you. I'm pretty sure there's some that don't do anything. They'll say thanks and that's it.
Yeah, I don't understand the whole little like tip thing. He just tells you, hey, look for hidden stuff. Like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
All right. You didn't really need to say that to me.
It seems like it's all random too. Like you have no idea which which version of this guy you're gonna get.
Half the times I blew a wall up and found a secret, there was nothing there anyway, just an empty wall. I was like, all right, why did I even look for that then? I can't even get anything.
And like what sucks is you can't go back to these shops either. So once you leave the guy's shop, that's it. He's gone. If you want to go back to the shop again, you're going to have to search the level and find a different guy and just hope that he's a shop guy too. But you never know. He might not be. He might just say thank you and move along on his merry way.
Yeah, after like the first couple stages, they put one right in the very beginning. As soon as you like turn left, like normally the stages all move from left to right in the beginning. As soon as you turn left, there's one standing there, and that one always seemed to be a merchant. So at least after you like beat a boss, you could usually get like a bonus amount of Zenny after completing a stage, so you can usually buy something at the beginning there to help you out.
Does anyone know what those potions do?
They're the antidotes in case you get poisoned. It will use one automatically if you get the poison.
Oh, is that all that is?
Yeah,
Okay. I thought it was like going to give me health or heal me when I die.
I wish.
I'm just dying. I still had like 20 potions. I'm like, all right, that didn't work.
Yeah, I did the same thing. I actually did not know that either. I thought they were potions. The one time I stocked up a ton, and I was fighting one of the dragons, one of the bosses, and then I died, and I still had them. I was like, dude, how do I use these potions? I was trying every button, and I couldn't figure out what was going on. But
Yeah, I thought I was
makes
missing something.
sense now.
I thought there was a secret button I wasn't pressing.
Anyways, you can buy those potions in the shop. There's also, you can buy weapon upgrades, so it makes your weapon stronger. I believe that's the only one that's permanent, because you can also buy armor upgrades. Those allow you to take more damage before like your actual health starts going down. But that seems to go away as soon as you use it up. So I would always, I gave you guys my second pro tip there and said if you're playing through, upgrade your weapon first, because if you just upgrade the armor, it goes away whenever you die. So you got to pretty much start over again. And upgrading your weapon helps so much, I thought. And I like it wasn't just like like stats, like visually, you could actually see like whenever the weapon changes. The final part looked pretty sick. It was like on fire and stuff.
I only ever got to the next to last weapon upgrade because that final one costs so much, and I could just never get anywhere near enough for that. So I got the next to last one, the third of the 4 or something like that, and just kind of stuck with that.
Did you prioritize just upgrading that, or were you just buying all this stuff along the way?
Oh no, I was trying very much to just I was only buying weapons, and still if to get enough Zenny, I would have had to kill way more things, and it got to the point where I didn't want to. I just had to keep going because I was dying way too much. I just had to try to advance.
Sky, how did you guys end up upgrading your weapon the whole way, or?
Yeah, I got weapon all the way, and then after that, I was just buying the max level armor every time I could.
Yeah, I got that too. Them little side dungeons help a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I only went in those a couple times, and I seemed to die really quick. Those are like, they're throughout the stages. You find the little dungeon, and you go in. It seems you only get one try. If you die, then it sets you back out of it, and you can't go back in it. So I died in like 2 of them, then I just avoided them the rest of the game. So if you guys got anything to say about the dungeons, go ahead, because I really don't know anything about them.
I mean, I didn't think there were anything special. It's like just kind of more enemies. Get some gold from some of the enemies out of there, and I think there was a shop guy, the wise man was always in there.
Yeah, those dungeons were kind of just to help get you some Zenny and some buffs and whatnot, pretty much, it seems like.
Yeah, it wasn't... I mean, it helps, but it just... I'd go in every single one that I could find. I probably died in like half of them. I entered the one when I was poisoned, so I was like, well, this isn't going to work. Yeah, when I walked in there, I pretty much left as soon as I entered there because I got wrecked.
Yeah, after I died, I just stopped going back. So because I was collecting a lot of money, I was trying to clear mostly everything out. Some of the enemies will give you a lot, like some of like the harder ones. So when you kill them, sometimes they'll drop like 500 as opposed to like 10 that some of the other weaker enemies drop.
Yeah.
So if you kill some of like the stronger enemies, you can really rack up money pretty quick.
I like getting those 1,000 drops.
Yeah.
A 1,000? Who gave that?
I don't know if it's near. Is it like the later levels? I don't think the beginning levels drop those big ones like that.
I know I seen.
I don't think. Yeah, I think it scales per level.
Yeah, there's quite a few 1K drops out of some of those enemies.
I might have just picked up the coin too fast to realize it, but I remember seeing 500s. I don't remember seeing 1,000.
No, while we're talking about the Zenny, do you guys remember how much the final weapon upgrade costs in your shop?
12,000 something.
Yeah, the one website I was looking at about this game mentioned how in the Japanese version of the game, everything in the shop is more expensive than in the English version. And they have 2 screenshots of each version. And I noticed that the version of the game I played is like a mixture of the two. Because in their picture, it's trying to show that the final weapon upgrade in the English version is only 9,600, whereas the Japanese is 12,000. Mine was 12,000.
Yeah, mine was definitely 12 something.
Yeah, that's the one I had too.
It's showing that that's the price of the final weapon in the Japanese version in this picture, but also my armor is cheaper than in the Japanese version. So it's somehow we have like some kind of like mid-ground version of the prices.
And I know how much it is for us. How much was it for theirs?
The Japanese version is showing 4,800 for the best armor. And ours was, I think, 2,400.
Yeah, that's double ours.
Yeah, so I don't understand why we have like some kind of weird combination of the English and Japanese prices. That's actually weird. It's for the most expensive armor in the English version in this screenshot is 1,600. So I have no idea. I don't get any of this. Do we have the English version? Do we have the Japanese? I don't know.
Everything I had was in English. We all played the same version, it sounds like, because we all had the same prices at least. So yeah, I don't know. There must be multiple. Like a lot of arcade games will have like different release numbers. So maybe it's just a different build of it.
I wonder if that's like a setting on the cabinet, like how you can mess with the dip switches, and those you can like mess with game settings with those. Maybe the ones we have different switches flipped, so it messes with the price of the shops. They probably have like a dip setting for that to affect actual prices of the items and all that.
That could definitely be it. Well, is there anything in the any other stages or anything like that you guys wanted to bring up?
They all just kind of sucked.
Yeah.
All the stages sucked. Not a fan of stages.
No, they're so big, which it's cool if you want to explore, but it's kind of a pain in the butt if you just want to get to the end.
There's not a whole lot to explore anyway. They're all relatively the same idea.
Yeah, it's kind of just a lot of space.
They look a little. They have different tile sets, but it's pretty much the same thing every time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really just comes down to like how much like gold or zenny do you want to try to collect? Because like there's like so many different like pathways you can take that aren't like the main pathway, but there's like nothing, like you're not missing anything other than just gold. It's just the same enemies, more the same booby trap chests. Like it's all the same stuff.
You get rewarded with the giant boulder that one shot kills you no matter what.
Yes.
Dude, you know how many times that boulder came down and was like, because you know it like falls out of the sky, and like the first time it ever happens, it just kills you, and you're like, okay, I guess there's boulders now. And then like you get used to it, and you see the boulder coming, and you're like, nah, dude, and you back up, but then it just like bounces to you anyway.
Like, it bounces like 3 times.
It can still kill you on the last bounce. It can still kill you.
Yeah,
Come
like
on,
just
man.
when you think
full armor too,
you figured it out, it just gets you anyway.
Like I just got done out of the shop getting a full set of armor, and boom, one shot. Like, come on.
And also, this game made me really have a hard time trusting doorways, because there was always that like mummy, like that fire-breathing mummy enemy that would come out of the doorways, but it wouldn't come out until you're like standing right there. And that got me so many times because I thought I had cleared them out, and then another one shows up.
Yeah, you like when they started doubling up.
Mm-hmm.
Back to back.
He'd come out of the doorway, and
Yes.
as soon as you kill it, literally the same doorway, just another one comes out immediately.
And while that's happening, you're still fighting skeletons.
Yeah.
Oh, so many skeletons.
And you can't even chill either, because if you sit there and let them pile up, they start throwing their heads at you and jumping at you.
Yeah. They give you like no zenny either.
No, it's like 5
Just
or something.
one. It's one.
1s and 5s.
From what I've seen, yeah.
So you really you can't really sit still in this game at all. You just have to keep moving.
Kyle, to answer your question earlier, in the video I'm watching, I just saw one of those like pink ninjas drop a 1,000 zenny piece.
Okay.
Oh, that's who does it.
They sucked.
I usually try to avoid those
them.
ninjas. Those were the worst regular enemy in the game. I thought they came out so fast, and they just popped up and they just charge into you and they just kill you. Those things freaking suck to run into.
They have a lot of health too. Them and those imps are the worst.
I thought the imps as normal enemies on the stage were harder than the imp boss himself.
Yeah,
It depends.
beat
If
him
you had your
quick.
weapon upgraded, you could kind of crush them pretty quick. But if you had a weaker weapon, they were pretty tough.
Yeah.
Well, you guys want to hop into talking about the bosses then, while we're talking about the imp?
Let's do it.
Yeah, well, I thought like each boss, I don't know, there's only like 3 different bosses basically. The first 2 were just like these stone blocks. Those guys were super easy to beat, I thought.
Yeah.
And then you fight 3 different variations of a dragon, and you fight 2 different variations of like this. I don't know, I call him like a humanoid dragon. He still looks like a dragon, but he's walking on 2 feet.
Draconian, I believe, is what they were
he's
called.
like
Draconian?
A dragoon.
That's the term.
Dragoons.
Yeah, that's the first time I came across the imp. Oh, yeah, I guess I forgot him. He was the 4th boss. That's the first time I was ready to quit this game. I thought he was actually, until I knew what was going on, I was ready to quit, because every time I got in there, I couldn't figure out how to damage them. So I still don't completely understand how the damaging works, because it shows like their health bar on the screen, but it doesn't always go away. Like, I don't know if it's just like slowly trickling down, or if he legit only has like 3 HP and you're only damaging him when one goes away. Did you guys notice how that actually functioned?
I'm not sure. I was just assuming, like you said the first time, that each actual bar probably takes quite a few hits to take it out. I didn't really notice if it was just like a short window of time when you hit them or not.
Yeah, I don't think I ever really figured it out. I just kept on hitting him, and eventually I would do damage, but I didn't really know exactly always what was causing or how I got damage to go through, so that was kind of weird. I wish it had, like, either just to give him a bigger health bar so I know when I'm actually hurting him, or I just feel like it could have been visualized a little better than that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I just spam on them and hope for the best.
Yeah.
Dude, if you want to get to health bars and damage and not knowing if you're hurting something, the second Dragoon, I think it was like, I didn't know this until after the fact, after I was done playing the game, but I watched a video of it afterward. But I was sitting there like shooting this guy, and like sometimes I'd shoot him like 5 times and a health bar would go away, and then like other times I would literally hit him like 70 times and then a health bar would go away, and I had no idea, and I really don't fully understand why that's happening. All I'd seen that was different from like the gameplay footage was like this guy was like jumping and like hitting the Dragoon in the head with his flail instead of spamming with daggers. Yeah, I have no idea. I don't even know why that's a thing. Like, I have daggers that kills everything else in the game, so why those weren't doing damage, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Took me a while. I eventually fought him multiple times and was wondering why it just kept making like a tinking noise as I was hitting him, And then I looked up a video, and sure enough, I saw that you had to jump and hit him in the head, which was a massive pain in the butt because it was never his head is not at like your full jump height either. So you have to jump and throw your attack out at just the right time. Meanwhile, you still have to avoid his attacks at the same time. I wasted a tremendous amount of time fighting just that first Silver Draconian. I hated that guy. But Brad, you said you had a hard time with the Imp?
Initially, yeah, because he would just like run into you. He throws spears at you, which like explode, and then he would just move so quick. I would like you come into the room and there's like all these pillars. So I hopped on a pillar, hop across, and he starts out in this ball. I'm attacking the ball, attacking it, nothing's happening. Then he pops out and he just like charges at you. He was like so quick. I was never prepared for it. It took me a while to even figure out what to do, but I mean, eventually, once I learned the game a little bit, he wasn't hard at all, but I really had trouble with him initially.
See, it's funny because I beat the Imp on my first try, but it was completely just luck-based. I just ducked and spammed my attack button, and I just managed to beat him that way. So it was 100% just a luck-based thing for me.
Yeah, I don't remember having any problems with him. Cause like
did you guys crouch when you attacked him?
Probably. Yeah. I don't know, probably. I just know like your attacks can blow up his spears. So like if you just keep shooting it, you would just stop his attacks and hit him. It must have just got maybe like a lucky pattern. I don't know.
I didn't even get hit once on the Imp.
Huh.
I didn't do like the crouching either. I jumped around like climbing on its pillars and going under him, going above him and stuff. I don't know. He just kind of followed me.
Maybe you were just unlucky then, Brad.
I don't know. Yeah, he really beat me up too. I didn't have my weapon upgraded at all either, so maybe that was part of it.
Yeah.
Like my first playthrough, because I didn't really know what to prioritize before I told you guys anything too. And I guess I don't know if you all use like the crouching thing.
Yeah,
but I don't really know why that works. But I'm just gonna mention that like for some reason I don't know if it's only the bosses, but it seems like on the bosses if you just hold it down, your character will crouch, and the bosses won't be able to hurt you by walking into you. Normally, if just you take collision, you're gonna take damage or die. But for some reason, if you duck, the boss will walk back and forth through you, and they can't hurt you. They can still hit you with like the normal attacks and like damage you that way, but you can just like sit there and let them kind of wander back and forth until you can get an opening to attack them. And I didn't realize that until I got to the very end of my first playthrough when I was on the final dragon. And then I kind of figured that out, but it was freaking rough trying to beat some of these bosses without that.
I was going to say, that's actually another difference between the American and Japanese version, because in the Japanese version, that's not a thing. They actually, they purposefully changed that in the English version, that crouching will not not give you collision damage.
Oh, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Made it a little easier for us.
That's what I read, at least.
So I got super lucky. I don't know if it was the first or like the second Dragoon guy. I remember jumping around the level, like there's like little slightly raised platforms on either side of the stage when you fight him. So he chased me to the one side and he's backing me into the corner. So I tried to jump away from him and I like jumped farther, I guess, in that platform and I got stuck on the wall, but he couldn't hit me at all. So I just spammed on him and he never touched me.
Just glitched him out.
Yeah, like he would, you know how he shoots some little fire pillars and they come out like 4 at a time in the ground?
Yeah. Right.
Well, I jumped, I was too far over and I was like inside the wall shooting at him. And he was just standing like in front of me trying to hit me with the fire pillar things. But every time he would cast them, since I was in the wall, it wasn't going on the floor. It was like going above my head and just like nowhere near me. So I got super lucky on that guy.
Dude, you know what sucked was on the second Dragoon. The first one, I believe, was just normal, and it was like red fire that he would do. And if it hits you, you just take damage like normal, whatever. But the second Dragoon has blue fire, and if it touches you, then it reverses your controls.
Yeah, dude, that was rough.
And it's like, you might as well just kill me right away. Because, like, what's the point?
I'm pretty sure that's actually another status that the antidote can cure.
Maybe. I mean, I probably didn't have any antidotes because I died 70 times on them.
Damn, Jordan, you didn't tell me you're an alchemist.
Full metal, baby.
Yeah, the only dragon I had trouble with was the final boss, like the last actual flying dragon. The other two, I didn't really have any trouble with them. I thought they were kind of easy. They were pretty easy to avoid. Whenever they shoot, like they'll shoot like the one will shoot like a fireball, and you can attack that and destroy it so it doesn't hurt you. But then I think the other one shoots like that fire that Kyle was talking about that kind of runs across the ground. That's the one that'll give you one of the status effects. And then the last one, I think he combines them both. It seems like he kind of does a little bit of everything. And that status effect would hit me so much on that final boss, and I would just be like Kyle said, you go in the opposite direction. It's like it's so hard to even like process what you're supposed to do or how you're even supposed to get away from all the other attacks.
Yeah, it's like you might as well just full kill me. Let me restart.
The thing was with it though, like whenever he shoots it, it doesn't like it'll look like it hits you, but it kind of goes through you, and like it kind of goes back further. So if you stand really close to most of the bosses, they can't really hit you with that.
Yeah, I thought the first two like actual dragons were like they just felt like I don't know, they were like maybe imp level, like they just felt like they weren't bosses. They just like I just kind of stood there and spammed like because your attack again could blow up their little fireballs they shoot.
Right.
Like they didn't have that much health. Like you could just do a couple hits. They just felt like they died just as quick as like the imps died. Like the two dragoon guys I thought were like felt like the bosses to me.
Yeah, for sure. That second one, definitely.
You guys didn't have any trouble with the final dragon?
No, he just took forever to kill, but he wasn't like hard. He barely. I think he might have hit me once or twice the whole fight.
It's just those damn draconians, man. That's they were the problem.
Yeah, I forgot to mention before I got that super lucky kill on that second guy, he beat me up like 4 times. So, and then like my fourth or fifth attempt, I jumped into the wall and got stuck, and I was like, "All right, this works."
That's it. Only 4 times.
I'd probably maybe 4 or 5.
Yeah, I wasted a lot of time on the silver one.
Yeah, initially I did too. Yeah, the thing with the final dragon though, like I guess you guys had an easier time than I did originally. I really struggled on them. Like if when you would die, the checkpoint was so bullshit, dude. You spawn back, and there's like the skeleton spawning out of the ground. There's like these little skeleton coins floating in the air that you cannot destroy, and they're just kind of like an obstacle, and they move back and forth. And then right as you get to where the actual dragon's gonna spawn, one of those ninjas just jumps out of the ground and just dashes at you. It was like the most, and then I think that even there's like a falling rock in that section. So it was like so rough just to even try to get up to him if you died on him, because then it's like everything all at once. I half the time when I got there, I didn't have any armor left, so I was working with one hit.
You think you're gonna respawn in like a safety zone and have time to catch your breath? No, he just sends all of his boys at you.
Yeah, everything right there. That's the final choke point.
I think most of my deaths were probably from the rocks, honestly.
Yeah, those suck.
A majority of my deaths were those stupid boulders, man. Those things suck.
Well, I don't know if I got much else. You guys got anything else you wanted to say?
I have a theory here about the crouching thing. So, watching someone else play this here, this is the only thing I can kind of think of. So, whenever the character crouches, he kind of goes into a pose where he's holding his shield forward. So maybe they're kind of just playing off that when he's crouching, he's using his shield to protect himself. That's the only thing I can really think of, like, for a reason why they did that.
That's a good enough explanation.
I mean, it works for me.
Yeah. I guess, yeah, because it's like if you're trying to make some sense of it, sure, but it's still even that doesn't make sense because like if you're facing the wrong direction and he walks into the back of you, it still doesn't hurt you.
Right. Yeah.
So it's like,
the best they could do in 1987, I guess.
Yeah.
I think whatever they did to try to port it to English version, maybe they messed it up and that's a bug or something.
Could be.
It doesn't seem like it would be intentional. Like that you just crouch and avoid all damage. Like,
especially if that's an arcade game.
I could be wrong. I thought I did read that it was on purpose because they back in the day they always wanted to make the English versions of games easier because they pretty much just thought that we were shitty at video games.
That's true.
I mean, we are in comparison.
Maybe they did. Yeah, that's possible.
You guys got anything else before we move into numbers?
No, I think that's
I'm
about
good.
it.
Yeah, I feel okay.
All right, before we actually get to the credits, let's just make sure, did everyone complete this game? Because it's another game where you get the checkpoints. You don't just continually spawn exactly where you die. So if you use a credit, you get set back a bit. I kind of feel like we all kind of covered it, but everyone did beat this, right?
Nope. I was trying to play it before we started this. I got to that section with on stage 7 with the pixel perfect jump. I tried it for probably I'm not even kidding. I was at that part for maybe 30 to 40 minutes and it was getting we were just like a few minutes away from when we were supposed to get on here, and I said, "Screw it, I don't care anymore. I'm just gonna hop in here, and they can talk about the ending."
What a freaking
Was that the
loser.
one where there was like the ninja right there?
I know, man. Yeah, so that pink ninja's on that first. I did manage to clear out the ninja and the imp that are in the way, but
Right.
I just couldn't get past the jump, dude. I spent so much time there just trying to make the jump, and even the 2 whole times I made the first jump, like I said, if you miss that second jump right after, it sends you the whole way back to the beginning of that section.
That's funny because I was playing a little bit right before we started while I was waiting for everyone, and that's right where I was at. And I felt like 4 times the guy, I'm not beating this again. We got to get to the podcast.
Yeah,
you know when I got to
gave
that
up,
spot, I couldn't get that jump. Like, I was so frustrated, so I just stopped playing right there, and I pulled up a video to see like someone make that jump. And even the video that I watched, the guy missed the jump like 7 times.
Yeah.
I swear to God, he missed it like 7 times.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, what is happening? And then finally he made it. But when he made the jump, it was just like, I didn't know, but it happened to be just coincidence that when he made the jump, he had already got hit a couple times and he didn't have armor. And then he made the jump, and I was like, wait a minute, tell me you jump higher without armor on, and I have to lose my armor to make this jump. And like, so I tried it, and I still couldn't get it.
Yeah, I thought that too, but no.
But no, it's just a dumb. It has to be that delayed jump Skylar was talking about, where you have like a half a second, because you can actually jump higher if you jump up first, and then after like half a second, give it a direction input, and you will go higher. And it has to be that. It's like a stupid jump, but yeah.
I love how they never ever explain those kind of mechanics.
No, and it's the only spot in the game you need it. It's so weird.
Yeah, they were just asking way too much of us there, man. I didn't have the time to keep working on it. I didn't care anymore either. I just wanted to be done.
Now that everyone knows Jordan's a loser, I also didn't beat this game.
Oh no.
Oh, you serious?
Yeah.
Oh,
My
no.
man. Oh, I'm so happy.
He says, "My man."
I'm so happy.
They just bonded over that moment.
Oh man.
My dude,
Where'd you give
Kyle.
up at?
I gave up on the second Dragoon.
Okay.
Oh, so like right after?
Yeah, literally right after the jump.
That guy was frustrating.
I made the jump and then quit. But yeah, I wasn't doing that crouch strategy thing. Like if I gotta do that, I'm not doing it. You know what I mean? I'm just not playing this game. But I wasn't doing that crouch thing. I was actually trying to fight the guy, and I was that's when I didn't know that, like, for whatever dumb reason, you have to jump and only your flail hitting him in the face is gonna hurt this guy.
Yeah.
Because I did not do that for the first Dragoon. I literally stood there and just kept firing until he died. So I don't know why the second Dragoon was like that, but like that's when I was hitting and it was weird because I wasn't doing, like, I don't know if I ever jumped and attacked that guy. So like sometimes I would fight him, and like after like 5 attacks, it would break a health bar. But then like sometimes it would take like 70 attacks and not break a health bar. And like I fought him so many times that like it was so inconsistent every single fight. I was like, dude, I don't know what's happening, but like I gotta go do the dishes or something.
Way more fun than
shit
this.
to do, man. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, I wish I would have known you have to hit them in the head. Because I'm watching this guy fight that second Dragoon, and he's just like standing in front of him and just jumping up and down, hitting him, and his health's dropping. Like every second he's taking a health bar off.
Yeah.
When I fought that dude, I was like spamming from like half a screen away. Sometimes I guess he probably got close enough and my whip hit him. But it took me like, I don't even know, dude, like almost 10 minutes to actually finally kill the guy somehow.
Yeah, I just couldn't, dude. I had shit to do.
I get it.
Yeah, I wish I would have known it was that precise like that. Because this guy's just like wrecking.
I wish I could have gone and washed your dishes too.
Yeah, I was gonna say I didn't watch like how to do it until after, because like if I have to like watch it, then I just don't want to do it anyway. So I just I just quit and then was like, all right, how, like, this can't be it, dude. And then the guy kills him in like 5 attacks, and like 3 minutes later fights the final boss and ends the game. It's like, all right, cool.
What about you, Sky? Did you finish it?
Oh,
Come on, dude.
He beat
Please
it.
say
I know,
no.
I know he did.
Did, but I want him to say no so bad.
I know. I didn't not beat it.
Yeah, we know.
Don't do that to me.
So yeah, I did beat it.
All right, so me and Sky both finished it.
This is the first time, at all, that we've had someone not finish like a coin-based game just because they didn't want to or just couldn't do it.
Yeah, well, this is kind of one of those hybrid ones where it is coin based, but it's also you don't pick up right where you left off. Like those games, there's no reason not to finish them because you literally just spawn exactly where you die. This was
Yeah.
actually like challenging parts you can get stuck at if if you get stressed out. It's like it's not worth it anymore.
I was gonna say the only other times we've had someone not finish games are because they just crashed on Kyle.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
feels bad too, though.
Feels bad, dude.
Actually, I would prefer that be the option, is if it crashes.
Well, since only me and Sky actually finish it, I guess we're the only ones that are gonna count our credits then.
Guess so.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you my credit anyway, but
When you gave up, how many you spent?
1.
Nah,
Go away.
get out of here.
Imagine.
Let's get out of here.
Imagine at the very first sign of adversity, I just give up.
He was
He's
on
at the
track
one
to.
point that-
He was on track to 2cc this thing to quit. Yeah, right.
I couldn't make one jump, dude. I was just out.
He gave up his perfect run.
So I forget how many. So my total credit before I finally rage quit was 23 credits. But I'm almost positive I spent like 10 credits on that Dragoon before I quit. So if I would have just quit early, if I would have just, you know what I mean, called it a day, I probably could have been. I was probably at like 10-ish credits when I got to that guy.
Jordan, did you track yours?
I think I was at 31, but between the pink ninja killing me around that jump spot and the first silver draconian, I'm pretty sure those two areas were at least 20 of those 31 tokens.
Yeah, that's what happens. It'll be smooth sailing. You get hit one spot that's rough, and you just eats up
Mhm.
so many credits in that one section.
Yep.
All right, that's down to me and Sky. Then I'll go first. Obviously I completed it, and my best run I did it in 25.
Nice, man. I'm surprised. I did one. I just did one playthrough, and the tokens I used were 15.
Oh, nice.
That's solid.
I don't know how.
I only really died on that second Dragoon guy a couple times. All the other bosses I barely got touched, and then the rest of my deaths were due to stupid boulders and falling in pits and that kind of crap.
Yeah, all the traps.
But yeah, the bosses didn't really give me that hard of a time, except for that second guy, and then I got lucky and glitched into the wall and killed him.
Dude, 15 tokens?
It's wild.
Yeah.
I died 15 times to a treasure chest.
Well, you get multiple lives before you use a token. You were tracking that, right?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Okay. I know I think we made that mistake.
Yeah, you did.
Outzone actually was the game
Yeah.
that we did that on.
Yeah.
But I made sure I tracked him right this time, so.
Which means if you do the math, I died 45 times to a treasure chest.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm glad I did a second run. It brought my credits down a lot, and just like understanding the game, I thought was more fun. Like the first time, I was like, "This game is terrible." Like I hated everything about it, and I was so mad. I was ready to throw my Steam Deck on the ground because I was just so frustrated with some of these bosses. But the second time through, once I understood some of it, it wasn't as bad, and probably gonna help my rating a little bit.
Yeah, you're not helping mine very much.
This guy's not even a tiger. What is this?
All right, well, we are gonna rate it now. We're gonna rate it out of 23. I read that there's 23 secrets in the game, like when you smash the walls, and like they have little sections like that where you can usually find items. I think typically they just give you like extra armor. There might be other things, but that's mostly what I noticed. Some points, but yeah, there was 23 secrets. So what do you rate it out of 23?
Like 5, maybe.
5 out of 23.
Sure, maybe 4.
Fair enough.
No, just go with 5. I don't really care enough. Just give it a 5.
5 out of 23.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
Might
not
be
far
generous.
off, dude. I'm going to slap a 7 on him.
Ooh, okay, we're lowballing this one.
I was coming in around there also. I was thinking like an 8.
8 out of 23.
I think that's probably out of 23 secrets. There's only actually 8 that probably hold something. So
Yeah.
the other ones have absolutely nothing.
And,
so.
and out of those 8, 4 of them hurt you.
Added to my death toll. So
Yeah, overall, I kind of like the concept of the game, but some of it just wasn't done very well. Like, they asked too much for you for the controls, like some of the platforming. It's like, really, you want me to do that with this movement? Like, this kind of sucks. They rack up some of those cheap deaths, those falling boulders. That definitely doesn't help the score here at all.
yes, I feel like I'm being slightly more generous just because I mean I think mechanics are kind of crappy also. Like, I hate that jumping style. I think it sucks. But I don't know, the game has its own challenges, so if you get used to that, I mean, you can make it work, I guess.
Right.
I like the power-ups and all that stuff. Thought that was cool. I wish they would have used, like, different bosses. Because you fight 8 bosses, but there's only really, like, 3 or 4 unique ones. The rest are, like, recolors.
Just reskin with more HP.
Yeah.
And the dragons, like, those were supposed to be... The whole point of the game was to kill the 3 dragons, they keep saying. And, like, those guys died just like any other enemy died. Well, I guess the 2 of them did. I didn't fight the last one, but the other 2 just died pretty easy. And the dragoons felt like the bosses. And even they were kind of dumb.
They all had, like, the same... It was, like, the same attack patterns, too. Like, I don't think anything changed between any of the, like, the recolors.
Right.
Also, I didn't get hit by it, but I don't think the first dragoon reversed your controls when he hit you.
Oh, okay. Maybe that was it.
But yeah, other than that...
Even still, I'd expect, like... I mean, beef them up, like, something different. Give them unique patterns you don't know yet, or...
I mean, it is a pretty old game, but it also came out the same year as Alien Syndrome, so you can't cut it that much of a break.
Yeah, man, come on. At least that had unique-looking bosses and patterns.
Yeah.
That second dragoon had a multitude of patterns, dude. I didn't know what that guy was doing. Dude, sometimes he'd run away from me, sometimes he'd charge me, he'd stop right in front of me, back up, then run at me. I'm like, dude, what is this guy doing? And because I wasn't using the crouch things, like I actually was like having to avoid this guy, and it was so insane. Like you just never like he even he didn't know what he was doing half the time. I'm like, God, what's going on here?
Yeah, I mean, I just gave it a slightly higher rating just because it was probably one of the more, I don't know, more unique, I guess, kind of hack and slash platformers. Even though it has crappy controls and all that, like with the upgrades. It was a kind of a different one than we usually play.
My score I was worried is a little bit low, but I guess after hearing all you guys, I got a 12 out of 23, so I guess I'm the highest of us all.
Yeah, you're fine. Wait, what did Sky say again?
8.
Okay.
I'm not super big on it.
Nah, dude. Let me make this clear. I'm just gonna put this out into the universe here. I would rather play JJ Squawkers in this game again.
Whoa.
Oh.
That tells you how I feel right now. I mean, maybe that's just the fact I just got done rage quitting it, but I don't know, man. It's kind of what I'm thinking right now.
Move JJ Squawkers to number 1.
Oh, get out of here.
That's right. Well, let's take care of that now, guys. Sounds like you guys are all gonna be pretty low on this, so I feel like you're all probably roughly in the same spot. You guys got a jumping off point where we want to rank it?
I was thinking somewhere bottom middle, like anywhere from like 12 to 16 or something.
I genuinely wouldn't be mad if it was dead last.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely going...
I'm not necessarily saying dead last for sure, but I would not... If someone said dead last, I wouldn't argue it.
I think it's definitely better than that Gundam game.
Yeah.
That game has nothing going for it.
You are insane if you think this is better than the Gundam game.
That Gundam game was one of the most basic games I've ever seen in my entire life.
Gundam was pretty
usually
basic.
my least favorite game we've ever played so far.
It had some cool graphics, and that was about it.
I mean, I'm thinking like, yeah, I mean, below Altered Beast and above Gundam seems like it slots in pretty good.
That's as low as I'd be okay with. Anything lower than that, I might have an argument. I could probably go a couple spots higher, but if that sounds like where you guys all want it to go,
I would much rather play Altered Beast.
Sky?
Somewhere around there, yeah, 16, 17. I would prefer to play this over Metal Slug, but you boys know the deal by now.
Yeah, that's one you just gotta ignore.
Yeah.
Well, you'd rather play this than Slug.
I would have put it a couple spots higher. That's a consensus. I'm not gonna argue for it.
Yeah, I almost want to say above Altered Beast, but then you got to think, Altered Beast is still, as much as it wasn't the best game, it was still kind of a cool game, kind of funny.
It was like cool-ish.
Yeah, a little nostalgia there with it.
You got the nostalgia. I think the bosses were, even though like they weren't crazy, I think the bosses were still better, and like the stages, just like the controls felt better.
Not much better.
Not much better, but it felt better.
I don't know, man. I think it felt way better.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same about this and Altered Beast. I could see it under it or a couple spots above it. I'm not too worried about it.
Yeah, I'd go above a bit, but I can settle for this. I've got enough stuff where I want it on this list. I can make a compromise here.
Looks good to me. Lock it in.
Alrighty, we'll lock it in. We have Altered Beast at 16, Black Tiger at 17, and Garbage Gundam at 18.
Say the whole name.
That's it. That's all. I'm
That
not
was
saying
it.
That game is not worth my breath to say that whole name, dude.
Man, I desperately want some listeners to play that game just to see what other people think. I think the simplicity of it's one of the things that makes it good.
I guess. Not for me.
I still remember that terrible collision. No way.
Some of these games are just
Falling
doing
off
too
of
much.
pipes. The sprite's touching the other sprite, but there's no hitbox, so you die anyway. No.
I don't want to relive these tragedies.
I'll take the pipe climbing over the pixel perfect jumping in this one.
Ugh.
Oh, you and SD Gundam can climb some pipe together, Jordan. I don't care.
Please be careful with that wording, my friend.
Oh, I was as careful as I needed to be.
No, never was.
It's right where I wanted it. Man, take it away, Jordan. You got some trivia for us.
Oh, man, I guess if I have to, but
He had that written out last night.
I scrapped together 3 questions for this pile of whatever you want to call it. Hopping into trivia, Sky, you're leading the way. You got 42, my friend. Brad, you got 32, and Kyle, you got 30. Just a little bit behind Brad there. So we're going to hop on into Black Tiger trivia. Question number 1. A version of Black Tiger is played by the protagonist of what science fiction novel? A. Otherland. B. Ready Player One. Or C. The Luminous Dead.
I'm just gonna throw a guess out. Say Ready Player One.
Okay.
I will go with A.
Okay, that's Otherland.
I have no clue, but just to mix it up, I'm going to go C.
All right, Sky, you're staying up there. It's Ready Player One. B.
Okay, that's the only one I recognized.
Yeah, same. I just I saw Ready Player One was was the answer for this, and I kind of just Googled, what are some other novels that have something to do with video games, and that's what I found. But Ready Player One, that is the correct answer. Question number 2: a boss is named Black Tiger in what other Capcom game? A. Devil May Cry. B. Resident Evil. C. Monster Hunter.
I'll go with A again.
Okay.
I'm gonna say C.
All right.
Yeah, I'm going Monster Hunter.
You're all wrong. This one is Resident Evil.
Really?
Huh.
Yep.
Wow, I didn't play enough of those games.
I never played Resident Evil myself, but when I was I know you guys have said this a lot with whenever you were younger. I watched my brother play it a lot when I was a kid, and sometimes gave me nightmares, but that's okay. I don't remember that boss, but apparently, yeah, there is a boss named Black Tiger in Resident Evil.
I wonder which game that was in. I think I played like the first one, a little bit of the second one, and that was it.
Second one's Nemesis, isn't it?
I thought, what was the, well, it was called like Director's Cut or something.
I don't remember.
That was like a different game. I don't know.
I don't remember.
Anyway.
We'll talk about that on the Resident Evil podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Of course. Okay, question number 3. What is the name of Black Tiger in Japan? A. Black Dragon. B. Black Knight. Or C. Black Tiger.
I'm gonna say Black Dragon.
Okay.
Yep, might as well just go A all the way, Black Dragon.
A all the way, Black Dragon, okay.
A all the way.
All right, yes, it is a Black Dragon. I was kind of hoping one of you guys would be like, is he tricking me? Is it a trick question? Is it just Black Tiger still? Nope, no one fell for it. It is a Black Dragon. Sky, you got 2 correct. You're going up to 44. Brad, you got 1 up to 33. Kyle, you got 1 up to 31. That will wrap it up for trivia for this episode.
So do we have like a score cap when we reset, or does Sky just run this game for the rest of our podcast?
Maybe you should get good, Brad.
I used to be good, and then I got bad.
You were in the lead for a while there, so you see, it's possible to come back.
I'm rolling this scoreboard over, boys.
Right?
Keep rolling and rolling.
All
and rolling,
nines,
and rolling.
and we're going back to zeros.
That's all I got.
All right, that pretty much wraps up Black Tiger then. The next game we'll be playing is Dead Connection. Follow us on social media at Arcadiology on pretty much everything. We have a Discord. I actually just uploaded everything to YouTube, our podcast, so if you like to listen there, there's another option for you to listen to the full episodes and everything. You can send us questions at arcadiologyquestions@gmail.com. There's also a form in the description. as well as like a bunch of other links to like our Discord, stuff like that. I'll have the spreadsheet in there if you want to look at all of our stats for the games, all of our individual ratings, the credits, everything like that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. You guys want to say bye?
I do want to say bye.
Do it then. What are you waiting for?
I don't.
Bye.
Anyone
Hello.
else want to do it, or just Sky?
I don't really feel like it.
Well, hold on. I just got a message here from Kyle. He said bye.
This game just ruined my mood. Nobody gets a goodbye.
I'm just gonna clip that, and you already said goodbye, so we're good. Let's get out of here.
Oh man, okay, bye.
Later, dudes.